Assuming that life had taken 10% longer to develop on Earth, it wouldn't exist by any means. Very nearly a long time back, we said our farewells to Explorer 1, sending it on a mission of no return. A mission that should open new gateways in how we might interpret the planetary group. Like a loyal worker, Explorer 1 has been sending back swarms of information to Earth, uncovering marvelous revelations about our universe and taking us on an excursion into new universes we never knew existed. Now, Explorer has taken its work excessively far by dropping an interstellar stunner on the laps of researchers. Couldn't accept the obvious reality as they looked in wonder at the astounding information that Explorer 1 just communicated to Earth. An unnerving disclosure that is nearly revising grandiose history as far as we might be concerned. What's this disturbing disclosure that Explorer 1 just uncovered? Is it genuine that the Explorer has crossed into interstellar space? Go along with us on this fascinating, enormous excursion as we investigate what happened. Interstellar space has seen in no way like Explorer 1 before, as the logical masterpiece has investigated profundities in our universe that shock even awesome of researchers. This designing riddle has gone into districts that we never expected to uncover, staggering revelations that are reworking how we might interpret interstellar space for a considerable length of time. Now, Explorer 1 has divulged stunning discoveries that stargazers never imagined we would run over, basically not in the shuttle's lifetime. Unfortunately, we could never have been all the more off base, since Explorer 1 has flabbergasted everybody by getting by beyond its normal life expectancy. Like a Shakespearean fantasy, Explorer 1 has surpassed its extended life expectancy, as well as has wandered into distances that have left the whole academic local area confused. We can't resist the urge to be in wonderment of a space apparatus that is billions of miles from Platform A. Space apparatus has wowed everybody with its virtuoso in revamping the precepts of room investigation. On account of Explorer 1, researchers have been compelled to dispose of several restricting convictions and embrace novel insight models with regards to interstellar space journeys. It's practically similar to we were gaining from the books right without any preparation. Explorer 1 has held each one entranced by its crazy capacity to, in any case, send back information to Earth in spite of its incredibly far distance in space. It's seriously puzzling that we are continually getting information from the space apparatus in spite of its obsolete innovation. It doesn't check out. The space apparatus couldn't care less about how this affects us since it has broadened and unexpected on our faces with its most recent goosebumps shivering revelation. This is one revelation researchers haven't quit discussing since they deciphered the new message that the Explorer shipped off Earth. Seemingly, the Explorer might have given us the interstellar revelation of the decade, a revelation we didn't need to make the slightest effort to find. The excursion to opening the mysteries of the universe didn't begin today, yet dates as far back as 1965, when the driving force of room investigation was simply beginning off. We can't recount the story without referencing Gary Flandreau, who worked at NASA's Stream Impetus Lab. He was the iridescent psyche entrusted with changing the ideal way for a space test that would arrive at the far-off monsters of our planetary group, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Flandreau took on this overwhelming errand with incredible confidence and got to work quickly, putting his pencil to incredible use for several hours. Then he found the unbelievable in the last part of the 1970s and mid-1980s. Each of the four gas monsters would adjust in a vast dance, forming a divine neckband with the Earth. This was a unique occasion, a noteworthy second that we might in all likelihood at no point ever get to find in the future. From the information that Flandreau had uncovered, it was clear that a space apparatus passing by every planet could acquire a speed support from its gravitational draw. Like an imperceptible rope was pulling it, unfolded on Flandreau that an excursion from Earth to Neptune would have required 30 years. Anyway, the content had flipped thanks to the computations reasoned from this viewing. As per the enthralling picture painted in Flandreau brain by this most recent finding, this excursion could be abbreviated to 12 years because of these gravity helps. With nothing to do, Flandreau handed off his discoveries to the VIP of NASA and prompted that we begin making substantial arrangements to take advantage of the chance this momentous, inestimable occasion would offer us. This is on the grounds that this remarkable infinite occasion just happens once at regular intervals. Like a deer hurrying to somewhere safe, NASA got to move on to try not to pass up this once-in-a-lifetime chance. The open door didn't shock cosmologists when the Space Office sent off two twin space apparatus, Explorer 1 and Explorer 2, in the span of 15 days of one another in 1977. The space tests left the shores of Earth for space with one command imbued in their PC framework: explore the far-off Goliaths in our planetary group. In spite of the fact that researchers were hopeful that these space pilgrims would uncover delectable disclosures, nothing had set them up for the record-breaking discoveries that these space tests would coincidentally find in this stupendous journey. The twin rockets resided consistent with their name by effectively leaving on an inestimable journey that has edified how we might interpret the nearby planet group and interstellar space at large. Naturally, one would expect that their light would be extinguished with time. However, we could never have been all the more off base. In light of the fact that these fabulous space pioneers keep on bursting unequivocally in space, exploring profundities we never envisioned they could visit, and keeping us abreast of the discoveries they opened through the information they sent back to the ground group on Earth, they have gotten their spot in the set of experiences books by wandering into the farthest distances trot in by any space test in mankind's set of experiences. Also, they reliably astonish everybody by being the most seasoned known space apparatus in history. We can't resist the urge to have the drums moving in their tribute on the grounds that their unique mission terms should keep going for only 4 years. However, they stunned cynics and everybody on the loose by stretching past the boundary that had been placed on their reality. The story continues getting more superb as time passes, and researchers really can't get enough of the surprising revelations that the Explorer keeps on getting our direction. The beginning of their excursion, these chivalrous space apparatus surrendered us thrilling shut perspectives on Jupiter and Saturn. They took the cloak off our eyes regarding our view of these monster planets, rectifying incorrect ideas and growing the focal point through which we view these far-off planets. Because of the journey across the immense gap that had restricted how we might interpret these far-off Goliaths, it was gradually topped off as our eyes became designed to the thrilling new universes that we didn't know existed in Jupiter or Saturn. Researchers couldn't conceal their awe at the way that these universes were strikingly more lovely, dynamic than we might have envisioned. Stargazers nearly shouted in happiness when the information given by these space tests showed that these planets housed dynamic fountain of liquid magma and great ice fields. It was like researchers had been conceded section into a Disneyland loaded up with the most amazing space revelations they could imagine. Who might have envisioned that a space apparatus that is just a classic Volkswagen creepy crawly could step into a strange area and emerge with unfathomable disclosures, the thoughtful we haven't seen or heard before? Like a fearless tracker really considering going into the main part of a thick woodland, Explorer 2 did the unexpected by being the principal space apparatus to get so near Uranus in 1986, and it forged ahead with this staggering path till he floated past Neptune in 1989. Up to this point, the set of experiences books hold Explorer 2's name as the main space apparatus to have made a trip to such lengths in investigating these two ice monsters. What antiquarians find more psyche-irritating is the milestone disclosures that these famous visits rejuvenated. We would have stayed in obscurity with regards to our impression of these two far-off universes on the off chance that Explorer 2 hadn't thought for even a moment to travel that far. An excursion that has set it more than 14 billion miles from our planet. Explorer 1 could not have possibly had the option to oppose everybody's requests without anyone else from the beginning in its excursion. It needed to get assist with getting to see this when its fantastic journey began with a gravity help from Venus, a move never endeavored before by any space apparatus. En route to Mercury, the Explorer Specialties process is loaded up with records of numerous firsts. They continued setting records each spending day as they cruised through the charming floods of interstellar space. As invigorating as this story sounds, it was anything but a simple ride for the explorers. It appears to be easy now, yet a very long time back when the space tests were moving through the various phases of this excursion, they had a strained environment eclipsing them. We see proof of this during their different endeavors to get the essential move to Mercury. All the more so, the primary leg of their excursion to Jupiter was a long way from rosy as the journey took them to a distance multiple times farther from Earth than Mercury. This awe-inspiring excursion saw the tests navigate through the horrendous rushes of the space rock belt, a way that took steps to deflect them from their objective.